Hello everyone, my name is Shadowvanish, and as many of you know, 6.2 has been announced, and I'm going to give you guys my opinion and what has been announced about 6.2. I think there's been a lot of great changes, and I'm pretty happy about them. Non-jungle has finally been added, and it's more like, what I think about it is it's more like a daily quest hub area and Timeless Isle mixed in together. It's accessed if you have the level 3 garrison with Shipyard. Shipyard is basically a new building, and basically you get quests from it and stuff, and along with naval missions. But the thing with naval missions, I think that it's not really good that our followers get to experience it. I feel like this expansion is more focused on our followers and not really the player. I think that that's not really fair, and like, we pay for it. I don't think my follower pays for my subscription, and I think that they should just make us do it. Or maybe, how about this, we go on a ship along with maybe a group of 4 followers, basically almost like a dungeon. Basically the follower is NPC controlled, and you could choose your favorite followers. I think that'd be great. Like, I would choose Leroy Jenkins, Crowman, and all of them. Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and I just came up with that within a couple seconds. I think that should be the new thing that's along with it. Another thing that has been added is a new raid, Hellfire Citadel. It's basically like you get to fight all the Burning Legion enemies like Archimond. I'm thinking maybe Gul'dan, Kilrog Deadeye, Gorefiend. He was in Black Temple, but in this expansion he was in the dungeon. We fought him, and at the end he jumped off something, and we all presumed he was dead, but he's not. And they basically said keep an eye out for more, and it has 13 boss raid tier, which I think is awesome. And another thing that has been added is clash trinkets on Archimond, which I think is the best idea ever. I love the clash trinkets. Another thing that has been added is mythic dungeon difficulty. I think that that's good. Basically adds a new thing to dungeons, but you have to do the dungeons 3 times though. Like, what's the fun of that? I do think it's a good idea, and it rewards 670 gear, I think, and 700 if you're lucky. Another thing that has been added is the Adventures Guide, and what it does is basically it provides information about your character and all that. Something else is the legendary quest. They're doing more of the great and awesomeness of it, where you have to collect 1,000 more things, and I think you're gonna be done. But I'm just kidding about that. You only have to collect like 3. Another thing is like the Spare of Harmony vendors and Miss Pandaria and all that won't sell shit anymore. The Darkmoon Faire now has new potions, and if you fish there, if you do fishing that I don't do, you could return a fish and you get prizes. That's okay, I guess. And racing dungeons, we went over that, the raid, and challenge mode dungeons, basically like the gear is going up to 680, which I think is really good. For PvP, all gear between non-gear between 560 and 690 go up to 690, which makes arena gear irrelevant completely. And non-PvP gear, like if it's higher than 715, it goes back down to 715. And gear behind, like above 715, will not be capped in PvP. So basically, it's the same shit. Heirlooms, they basically added and selected old plate heirlooms because that hasn't been added, and they're adding new heirlooms in the Garabashi arena, which I guess is cool, and the Darkmoon Island. The Argent Warhorse, the Warhorse, I guess I had a problem in the Mount Journal, and I guess they fixed it. And you know that great crystal, it's called Apexis crystals? They no longer have a cap, so you could just hoard as much as you want. Awesome! I guess I'm gonna farm me up some Apexis crystals, eh? And achievements, like you could get Mission Master. I guess that's cool. Now I'm going to do class balancing. So these changes are not definite, so please don't get mad. Anti-magic shell for DKs. Basically absorbs all magic. And Frost is all 3 abilities that they have to press is increased by 20%, but Obliterate is 80% of the normal damage if it's a PvP target. Necrosis, or something like that, the multi-strike thingy that Unholy has been reduced by 18%, and Icy Runes has been removed. Now for Druids, if you're a bear form and you heal, some of the healing will translate into Rage. Thrash now does 10% more damage. Balance's Mastery is reduced by 5%. Feral's bleeds are increased by 10%. Guardian basically has more armor. It no longer cancels. You could like heal in bear form, I guess. Savage Defense reduces damage by 25%. The talents, like if you're using Dream of Cenarius, it goes up to 40% seconds. The Trents do more damage, and Glyph of Untrained Stars or something like that is now passive at level 75. For the Hunter, aspect of the Fox has been removed. Aim Shot does 60% more damage. Mastery for Survival has been increased by 19%. Explosive Shot deals 16% less damage. And Serpent Shot, I guess, is more like instant poison, I guess. Murder of the Crows only deals 80% of normal damage. Oh, so basically, Murder of Crows does 80% of normal damage on PvP targets. And Barrage can't hit people that are stealthed. Thank God, that was so annoying as my rogue. For the Mage, Amplified Magic has been removed. Mastery effectiveness has been reduced by 8% for Arcane, and Arcane Missiles deals 10% more damage. Frost's Mastery is 13% more useful, and Brain Freeze has a 15% chance to trigger on each multi-strike, which is pretty nice. For the Monks, sadly, they got hit with the Nerf bat. They weren't really that strong. I wouldn't really consider them strong. For DPS, basically, Blackout Kick does 30% less damage. Provoke has 30-yard range. Tiger's Palm deals 30% less damage, and Tiger Strikes doesn't trigger multi-strikes. Blackout Kick no longer increases stagger amount. Basically, for Windwalker, Fist of Fury, Hurricane Strike have 30% less damage. Tiger's Eye Brew is 10 per charge. And Chi Explosion does 30% less damage, and yeah, basically that's really it, sadly. Sorry, Monks. Hopefully Blizzard fixes it. For Retribution Paladins, their mastery has been reduced by 8%. 6%, I mean. Shadow Priestess mastery has been reduced by 10%. Shadow Form no longer affects the Priestess mounts. And if you want that to affect the mounts, you could just get a glyph. Alright, for my main class, the Rogue. For our, Eviscerates deal more damage, 10% more damage. Sinister Strikes deal 10% more damage. And Venom does 10% more damage for Assassination, and Mutilate does 10% more damage. Really good. Gouge Mastery has been increased by 10% for combat. Killing Spree is CCable. Why? That's fucking stupid. Meanwhile, Bladestorm you could swirl around. Really? Subtlety's Mastery has been decreased by 8%. Why? Backstab does 20% more damage. Sanguinary Blades does 30% more damage, up from 5, basically more bleed damage. And our Worthless Talent, Shuriken Toss, does 53% more melee damage from afar. That's okay, I guess, for the Rogue. I think that's okay. I think the Killing Spree thing's stupid. I don't agree with that. I mean, like, why? Hopefully that gets changed in the PTR, but for now, what am I gonna do? For the Shaman, they no longer are affected by, like, their multi-strike is 20% damage for multi-strike now, and is down from 35. That's a big nerf. Chain Heal does 25% more damage, and Riptide no longer increases Chain Heal's effectiveness by 25% on a primary target. Why are they nerfing Elemental? Elemental isn't really that strong. I don't understand that, but okay. Hopefully that gets fixed in the PTR. Now for Warlocks. Corruption deals 12% more damage, and Shout Bolt does 25% less damage. Agony does 12% more damage for Affliction. Unstable Affliction does 12% more damage. For Demonology, your mastery is decreased by 4%. Other than that, your damage has been decreased by 25%. Why? I mean, like, their burst was strong, so say if you get about 15k, like 25k DPS, you're now 15k DPS. I honestly don't understand the reasoning behind this. I think that Warlocks really didn't need this. Like, why? I think this is ridiculous. I was leveling up Warlock to play Demonology because it looked pretty fun. I mean, who doesn't like turning into a big colossal demon, jumping, throwing big lashes of bolts at anything? But, whatever. And the Warrior, defensive stance, decreases damage taken by 25. Cool, I don't tank as a Warrior, so I guess that's okay. Something that has been talked about today recently was Time Walker Dungeons being released. I think Time Walker Dungeons are a good idea, but it's presented in the worst possible way ever. Like, basically it's every weekend, and it sucks for people that do have jobs, and it's only for a weekend. It's almost like the Battleground weekends, like that they used to have, also known as Call to Arms. Basically what it is like they said it's going to be coming over to the PTR, and that they're going to be testing it, and the rewards are if you find something, and like it says if it drops the red sword of courage from the King Maran or whatever, it scales up to your level. I think that's a good change. I think that's a cool reward, but I think it should be more transmoggy. Like, if you're rating level 70 stuff, I think that it should have a whole different set for level 70, like a transmog set. For level 80, same thing. I think that should be a good idea. The dungeons that are coming out on the PTR from the BC is the Alcatraz, Black Morass, Mana Tombs, Shattered Halls, Slave Pens, and Wrath of the Lich King is and Kahet or whatever, on like that place, the Bug Place, the Old Kingdom, Gundrak, Halls of Lightning, the Nexus, Upguard Pinnacle. I think that's like, it's gonna be like one per weekend. I think that's how they're gonna do it. What I think about that is it could be both good and bad, because I don't think the rewards are really that rewarding, and if they wanted to do something nice, I think it would have been a good idea to just do it whenever you want. But then again, I could get that by like a whole week of it, or maybe 2 weeks of just Burning Crusade, and it drops, maybe if you're talking about right here now, it drops 685 gear up to heroic, or maybe 670 gear. I think that would be good. That's what I think it's going to be, but I don't think it should be a weekend. I think that's too short. What else? The Mythic Dungeons, I think that's only good for leveling up alts and filling in some gear patches. That's really it for my main. Tanan Jungle, I think since it's going to be more daily and timeless battle based, I think that it's gonna be really alt friendly. Like, this is the alt friendly patch, and since it's alt friendly, there's no point doing it on my main. The legendary ring. Oh god, the legendary ring. It's the proc is so fucking retarded. Like, it doesn't deserve anything. Basically what it is, say if I'm an agility user, everyone that has the agility ring, say if there's 5 people using the agility ring, it increases by 10%. It's basically meaning, say if I have 5 agility users, I'll have a 50% increased damage. The thing is, where that fails, is that you only have it for 12 seconds. Then it swaps to the next person. Problem with that is there's going to be a lot of class stacking too. It's just like, what do I do? Do I hold off my CDs until the new thing, like till the proc? Like, I don't get it. What was I saying? Sorry, I lost my chain of thought. The new building, shipyard, I think that it's like they said that Blizzard won't like lock content off if you don't have like resources for it. But to get into non-jungle, guess what you need? 6,000 fucking resources. That's a lot of resources. Too much. The downside of that is, well, basically you have to pay 6,000 resources, 5,000 for a shipyard, 6,000 to build a ship. You need to get to non-jungle with a ship, and yeah, that's not really great. The raid seems good. The armor doesn't look pretty except for the rogues. It's not even because I'm a rogue, it's just the rogues are the only good looking one. Adventure guide, it's cool. And yeah, oh, the Pexus crystals. Oh, you know, that thing that no one likes to grind? Well, no longer has a cap, so you could grind all the Pexus crystals you want. Class balancing, it's okay. I mean, like, they nerfed the things that didn't need to be nerfed. Like, they nerfed Ellie. Ellie's pretty weak for single target. Set bonuses seem pretty well. I like them. They're bringing back class trinkets for that drop off Archimon. I think that's a brilliant idea. Refreshes the game and changes up like combat. I read that like basically if you had that trinket, eviscerates range damage, which I think is fucking awesome. Basically in PvP, if you had that trinket, oh my god, how OP will that be? I would literally spec Shuriken Toss and just use that trinket, and basically you'd be a ranged hunter. Nice. Pretty OP, I guess. That's basically it. Other than that, I do not think that it'll hold everyone that's needed. That's like, it won't bring back a lot of subscribers due to 6.1 being utter trash, and this doesn't have enough stuff in it, enough content. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching the video, and peace out. If you want to watch my videos, just subscribe and like the video, and see ya.